Hello everyone, this is Saint Maroun School Beit Eddine and I'm teacher Sandra. This video is for grade 6 and we will continue with Unit 1 Art Project. We will talk today about Lesson 6 Words in Context and Listening. In this video we will revise reading of the lesson of the previous text, and also we will learn how to know the meaning of words from sentences, and we will do a listening activity. Let's read the short story again. Island Adventure. Max was staying with his cousin Jeff by the sea. Every day the boys went to the beach and played football or went fishing. But one day they stood on the sand and stared across the sea at a small island in the distance. No one lived on the island and the boys had never been there. "I'd like to explore that island," said Max. "Let's borrow my brother's boat and go there," said Jeff. "We'll be back before he finds out." The boys rowed to the island and left the boat on the sand. They climbed trees, swam in the river, and found some caves. At last they decided to go home, but when they went back to the boat, it wasn't there. The boys were frightened. "What are we going to do?" asked Max. "Nobody knows we're here." "Let's make a fire," said Jeff. "Someone will see the smoke." "But we haven't got any matches," said Max. "We can hit two rocks together to make a fire. Come on, it's easy." But it was dark before the boys had a fire. Suddenly there was a splash of water. The boys stared across the sea. A dark shape was coming towards them. "Run!" shouted Max. "Hey!" said a voice. "Don't you want to go home?" Jeff's brother was standing on the beach next to the missing boat. "How did you find us?" asked Jeff in amazement. "I saw the boat floating near the shore, so I swam out to get it. Then I saw your smoke and I realized what happened." "That was lucky," said Jeff. "Yes, but next time," said Jeff's brother as they rowed back, "tell me before you take my boat out, and always tie it to a tree." Now let's figure out some meanings of words together in sentences. The boys rowed to the island. Rowed, it means, or row, it means to push a boat with oars. Look at the picture, he is rowing. Row is a verb. Verb 1 in the present, it's row, and in the past, I add to it ed, it's a regular verb, so row, rowed. Let's borrow my brother's boat. Borrow is also a verb. It means to take and use something belonging to someone else and then return it. Like when you borrow something from your friend, a pen or an eraser, you use it and you give it back. So it's a verb. The present, the present form from it is borrow, and the past form from it is borrowed. The boys stared across the sea. Look at the picture. What is the man doing? He is staring. Stare, it means to look at someone or something with wide opened eyes, like when you're surprised or you are trying to concentrate. Stare is a verb. The present form from it is stir. And in the past, I also add to it ed. It becomes stirred. The boat was floating near the shore. The word here is floating. When you want to figure out the meaning of a word, you must write it in the base form. If it has ed, you need to take it out, or if it has ing, you need to take it out also. Floating here, it means resting or moving near the surface of water without sinking. Here in this sentence, floating is a verb. Okay, and I can use it as an adjective when I say a floating boat. It means this boat is swimming, or it's not swimming, it's on the surface of the water, but it's not sinking down. So I can say that it's also a verb. In the present it's float, and in the past it's floated. It's also a regular verb. You have to tie the boat to a tree. Look at the picture. What did they do to the boat? They tied it to a tree. Here, tie is a verb. It means to attach with a rope or a cord. So they tie the boat to a tree so it doesn't float away. Tie is a verb. It's also in the present form. It's tie. And in the past, it's tied. I only add D because it has an E at the end. The boys heard a splash of water. When you throw something in the water, the sound that you hear from the water, I call it splash. So splash is a sound made by something falling into water. Here, splash is a noun. He will hit two rocks to make a fire. Hit here is the verb. It means to strike or to push two things against each other hard. Like when you hit something with your hand, you hit the ball. Okay, so it means to strike. Hit is the verb. In the present form, it's hit, and in the past, it stays the same. It's also hit. Someone saw the fire smoke. Look at the picture. We have a fire and there is a smoke coming out from the fire. Smoke, we can call it a gas also. It's white and it comes out when we burn something. Smoke here in this sentence is a noun, but I can use it also as a verb. In verb 1, it's a smoke, and verb 2, smoked. And I also, as I said, I can use it as a noun, smoke. And now we have the listening activity. It's in your class book in page 13. You have to answer the first question. Listen, do the children like the painting? This is the painting, it's in front of you. And in number 3, you need to listen again and circle. I will read the text for you. It's a conversation between a boy and a girl. Listen carefully. Right. We have to write a story about this painting in this book. It's called Tiger in Tropical Storm. Do you like it? Yes, I like pictures of animals, and this one's really colorful. Who painted it? It was painted by a French artist called Henri Rousseau. Is it very old? It says here it was painted in 1891. So where's the tiger? Is it in a forest or in a zoo? What do you think? Well, I think it's in a forest. Look at all these trees and plants. I agree. Okay, so it's in a forest and there is a storm. Do you think the tiger is frightened of the storm? I don't think it's frightened. I think it's looking for something to eat. I think it's hungry. I think you're right. Maybe it's looking at an animal and it wants to eat it. Yes, so let's write about a hungry tiger in a forest in a storm. Do you want to write a story or a poem? Let's write a story. Good. Let's start. Once upon a time, there was a tiger And now here are some extra words you need to know before you start doing the activities. Look at these pictures. Lightning. Lightning is what happens in a storm or what happens before it starts raining heavily. And I also have riverbank. Riverbank is the ground or the soil that you see near the river. And the third one is grab. Grab is a verb. It's when you catch something so fast. And the last one is oars. Oars are pieces of wood. You use them to make the boat moves on water. And now you can do numbers 1 and 3 in page 13 in the book, and you can do page 11 in the workbook. I will leave you now with a recording for the listening activity. You can listen to it another time if you didn't know the answers. Goodbye, everyone.
Listening 10. Listen. Do the children like the painting?
Right. We have to write a story about this painting in this book. It's called Tiger in a Tropical Storm, Surprised. Do you like it?
Yes, I like pictures of animals, and this one's really colourful. Who painted it?
It was painted by a French artist called Henri Rousseau.
Is it very old?
It says here it was painted in 1891.
So, where's the tiger? Is it in a forest or in a zoo? What do you think?
Well, I think it's in a forest. Look at all those tall trees and plants.
I agree. OK, so it's in a forest and there's a storm. Do you think the tiger is frightened of the storm?
I don't think it's frightened. I think it's looking for something to eat. I think it's hungry.
I think you're right. Maybe it's looking at an animal and it wants to eat it.
Yes. So let's write about a hungry tiger in a forest in a storm. Do you want to write a story or a poem?
Let's write a story.
Good. Let's start. Once upon a time, there was a tiger.